Hi everyone, it's Sue here from Scrappy Doo Sue. I thought I'd better come on. I have been a little bit absent in the last couple of days because unfortunately I had to take my husband into hospital on Tuesday night. He suddenly collapsed with chronic pain, then told me that he hadn't been feeling too good all day at work but had sort of soldiered on. And it turns out that he has a couple of kidney stones, one of which is trying to exit, a 4mm one, and he was in agony with that. So he's been sent home with a bag full of pain meds in the hope that he passes it naturally. So it's been a wild couple of days, really worrying too, because we're going to Ireland next Wednesday, well, the early hours of Thursday morning, and you know, I don't he's got quite a bit of driving to do, so we've got to get down to Pembroke ferry port, which is down in Wales, and then get across to Rosslare, because we're staying in Allihies first, which is the peninsula in Cork, West Cork of Republic of Ireland, for a few days in his aunt's cottage like we did last year, and then we're moving on to travel back up to Greystones, which is County Wickford, which is below Dublin, to stay with his parents. So, you know, obviously the last thing you want is to not feel too good really when you're traveling. So fingers crossed everything, you know, works out and he passes this stone. He's having to use a sort of a tea strainer thing so we know when it's come out. Which sounds a bit awful, but yeah. So it's been quite a difficult time, but I'm back now, and I'm still working on this half spine little journal that I was making, which you've seen me make on video, and we have 3 signatures. So I started decorating the front, and this I've cut out of the paper pad I'm using, which is the Tim Holtz Ideology. It's called Paper Stash, and it's the Wallflower range, and I've been using lots of pages out of here. So what I did was I cut the bird out of one of the squares, and I've layered it on some cheesecloth and collaged the background with scraps from the pieces out of that paper pad. And I've put some lovely kind of metal corners on here and here, and a little phrase that says collect beautiful moments, and I've kind of decided to do a bit of mixed media, so I've gone round the whole outline of the bird on the branch in some gold, which is this Paper Effects, and it's called Golden Gold, and you know, you just squeeze it out of a narrow tip, and I used a paintbrush. I use this little paintbrush to just spread it out a bit. I just like that effect because I think it kind of shows the bird up a bit, you know. Anyway, so that's as far as I've got with the front. I've put a bit more trim down the bottom, and inside I haven't done anything. I'd already put those pockets on previously. So today, so we've got one at the front and one at the back, and we've got the trim, which I haven't trimmed down yet. On the back, this was the paper I'd used to cover the back with. So again, I've put these lovely corners on, and I've made a side tuck pocket out of a scrap from the paper pad, cut out some eggs actually, and I've put those, layered those on top of some cheesecloth. So I quite like that effect, and then obviously something will go in there. So that's as far as we've got at the moment, and I'm not going to video every single thing that I'm going to make to put in here, but each signature has similar things in it, so we'll just go through one signature. So you can see there's all different pages out of that scrapbook by Tim Holtz, plus one of the others that I'd already used. I think it might be, oh, I'm not sure what the other one was called, and that was only an 8x8 one anyway. And I've got some parchment effect paper in, some digital coffee dyed paper, just some ordinary card which I may stencil and do some mixed media on, and some plain craft paper, and that's the middle signature there, and those are the other side. So that's the bird that I cut out, and this robin actually, so that's the first signature, and the other two signatures are very similar. So I thought today what would be quite nice, I came up with this idea. So in this paper pad we have all these different pictures here that you can see. It's really beautiful, but at the back we have pages that are small images of the smaller images of the big ones. So we've got these pages, I think there's 3 pages for each design. So you can see these pieces, these squares are 3x3, or they are in centimeters, they are 7.5 by 7.5 centimeters. Then you've got the next level, which are 10 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters. So those are slightly bigger. They'd make quite nice little journal cards, I think. So what I did is I took one of these sheets here of the 3x3s, and I decided to cut them down into strips, and this is what I've come up with. So I'm going to make 3 little notepads. So all I did was cut the strips out, as you can see, and I've made them into trios, whatever you like them, and I just folded them at the line. I folded them at the line, and I just trimmed a tiny bit off of the 2 front panels, just so that they folded in on themselves. And this is this one, very pretty. So what I will do is I will probably stick this down to a page in the journal, making sure like I've just got the plainer sides, and I'm going to attach a little notepad to the middle of these. And then I thought, when I stick them down on the journal page, I will take some of this. I've got some nice lemon sari silk, so I'll glue that down with that underneath, so that we can turn that into a little closure. And I thought I'll make one for each signature on camera today. So I've got the sari out, and I have found I'm using all scraps. This is what I'm going to be using. So I've got a whole pile of scraps here from you know, the digital coffee and tea dyed papers, some parchment paper, scraps, all sorts of things, some lined paper, some actual dyed coffee, a tea dyed paper, I think this is. So I thought we could, and there's a double-sided piece of digital, and that is quite a nice colour actually. So I thought what we'll do is we'll measure, they all measure the 7.5 obviously. These are the taller ones, these aren't the 3x3s. Funny, I thought they were the 3x3s. How wrong could I be? They're not. they're the tall ones. So these are the 7.5 centimetre by 10 centimetres, or each panel is 3 inches by just under 4 inches. Okay, so if it's 3 inches, I think we'll go for 2 3/4 inches wide. So I've got a scrap of paper here in my bin, so I'm going to write down 2 3/4 inches wide by, so we'll say we'll make them 3.5 inches, I think, by 3.5 inches. Okay, right, so let's put those to one side for a moment, and let's chop up some paper. So let's just measure some of these. They might be perfect. So that's actually just over 2.5. So I think maybe, let's see, what does that look like if it's in here? I think that's probably perfect size. Okay, so if we use that one as a sort of template, and I have to allow for the fact that I'm going to put a little bit of strip. So I've got some scraps here from the same paper pad, just strips, and I'm going to use those various different widths. So I thought I might use them for a little strip to go across the top. So I'll staple the pad and then stick a strip of this, I think, over the top. One of the designs scraps, so I've got a few to choose from. So I want to allow for that. So I think if I say we'll end the pad about here. Okay, right, let's use this as a template, and okay, so let's get these out of the way. Okay, so they don't all have to be the same size once you've got your main one. So I'd quite like to get at least 2 pieces out of this. So I want to make that about that size, I think. And then we can just chop that down the middle. Right, okay. So I don't think you want to watch me doing this. I'm going to put you on pause and I'll be back with the papers all cut. Okay, I'm back. So I've managed to get 9 pieces, not all exactly the same size, out of those scraps for each pad. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll staple them together. So I just want to kind of put them in some sort of order, I think. That one looks a bit wide. Let's have a look, just check. Okay, that still fits, that's fine. So that's our widest one. So I think if we have that maybe at the back, and let's have a look, and then that one. And one like this, and then that one on the top, and we'll have this one at the front, I think, because it's small in width. Okay, that looks okay to me. Right, so I've got my old stapler, so I want to kind of catch them in, so I'm going to do 3 staples, one either end, like so, trying to line them up, and then one in the middle like so. So that's a little notepad. So we'll just do the others. I think these are more or less in order. So again, I will staple each end first, and then the center, catch everything, and finally this one. Okay, right. Okay, so now I've got these scraps here, these strips. So let's have a look and see which one we want to put over. So I think that's quite nice. So I'll just mark that there, and hopefully I've cut that straight on the end. Oh, I'm not very good at cutting freehand at all. So that will be one. We're just going to glue that down, I think. I'd quite like to round those 2 corners, but I'm not sure if my corner rounder will actually do them. Let's see. Oh, that worked. Okay, that one worked. So I think they look nicer like that. So that's one. Let's have a look. Let's put this one across here. This nice image on there. So again, I'll just do my best to cut straight. See what that looks like. I know that's not straight at all. It's totally off. I mean, goodness me, what's up with me? Right, okay, so let's turn that over, because then it can go into this corner round in exactly the same direction, which then has to go that way up. So that's another one. And finally, this has got a nice bit of calendar on it. It's quite nice. So let's mark that. This should be a bit easier because there's a line here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, put those away for a minute. And now, would you believe that one's not going to actually... Why did that one not work? I do not know. Okay, so we take a piece of the original one, and this one's okay. It's still got a bit of the calendar on it. Okay, so oh, I managed to cut that properly. I think this is slightly wider, this strip, and I think that's why this worked and the other one didn't. Okay, put that over there. Right. Except this is now upside down. Oh, what an idiot I am. Right, let's try one more piece. Where's that piece that I had? Here it is. Okay. Goodness me. I don't want the words upside down. That it would be terrible. Just checking. Take a tiny slither from that one, and so I want the corners there and not the other way. Okay, so take my vintage photo, distress ink, just distress those white edges. Keep them on their pads because they're made to measure. They won't all be exactly the same. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use my Beacon 3-in-1. And all that's doing is it's just hiding those staples there, like so. And again there. Nice. Something quite nice about knowing that you can make your own notebooks now, and you don't have to rely on buying any in the shop if you don't want to. Okay, just pop that lid on. Right, so those are the notepads, and these are going to be in the back there, and you can still see that image at the back. Okay, so I'm just going to look and see which one I want to put in here. Let's put this one in. So we're going to glue along staples, just either side. And we're going to just pop that down in there, like so, and leave that to dry. Just make sure it's straight. And there you have it. So that's one. That's quite nice for there. Very simple and yet quite effective, I think. Give it a press down for a few seconds just to help it to adhere, and make sure it's straight. like so. And we'll leave that one to dry too. And then our last one, this one here. Like so. And there's your little notebook. Right, okay, so I'm going around the corners of these. I'll just put that one down for a second until it's dried. Let's give that a press down like that. Let's dry that one. So this is the first one. So this should now be fairly stable for me to be able to just round the corners with number 7mm corner, which is the same one that I used for these, just to finish off like that. Okay. And then finally this one, keep it down on the desk so that it doesn't disturb the notepad. I mean, this probably is better to be done before you put the notepads in. I just hadn't thought about it till I kind of looked at it then, and I thought it would look nice to have everything kind of looking the same. So that's still a little bit tacky there. Okay, so then decide what you want for your front cover. So I think that would be mine, and I'm just going to leave that one to dry off a bit, and I'm just going to now cap the glue, and I'm just going to gently go around. Again, this could be done, I forgot to do it before I put the notepad in, but you know, I'll still do it. That's one. I'm just literally covering those white edges. Like so, and then I think I might clip those and let them dry for a bit longer. I think they need a little bit longer because they're quite chunky, those top ends with the staples. Okay, right, and then you can decorate the front however you wish if you want to add something to that. So let's have a think about that. You can also decorate inside here. Now you could also make these into little journal spots. So, you know, I've got some scraps from these notepads. Let's see, what have we got here? So I either have a big one, so you can write on that too, or a small one, or we can just could even have a little corner pocket on here, so you can put something in. Let's try that. I'm just using scraps, as I say, from the pad, and that's already partially cut, so I've just trimmed that off there, and we'll make a little I'm just going to freehand a sort of a corner pocket like that, or have it like that, and we can round that corner down there so that fits very nicely on there like so. So let's make a corner pocket for each of them. Okay, so let me just get this is all the scraps from the pad, all in one place mainly. So this is a bit that I was making an accordion folder with and didn't finish it. It didn't work out the way I thought it was going to. So we can use this as a template. I'm just going to get the guillotine out quickly, and so I'm just giving you one to give you an idea of what we can do. So let's just cut that out like so and trim down those edges a little bit, because the accordion little journal that I made, I had used green distress ink. I just want to take that off. Okay, so now let's take this as a template. Now let's have it this way round for this one, and all I'm going to do is draw around it with my pencil. Which can be rubbed off afterwards, and then I am going to cut round up. Of course you can tear this if you want it to look more ragged, and round that corner. Just trimming a slight slither off of that edge because it was a little bit rough. So that's okay. So we could have this one here, and this one, and this one here on this one, and we'll make one for the other one. So we'll use this, and maybe we'll have it that way round. Let's get one more out of here. Like so. And where's my pencil mark? I think it's straight along that dotted line, which should help me actually cut it straight. Okay, so that one is going to have that one on it, and this one is going to be over here, like so. Yeah, and do that side up. So you can do lots of things with your scraps. So we can glue those on. Let's just give them a quick ink round. So you've got a pocket there, a little tuck pocket to actually pop in a little note, you know, something, a reminder or anything really, like a bit of ephemera, something to keep things in, which is nice, isn't it? So I think, let's have a look, see which one looks better on that side. I think that shows up better there, yeah, and that one we're going to have that side just for change. Right, let's stick these on. So always hold the side that you don't want glue on, and a thin bead of this. Just spreading it out with a nozzle, and then because I've rounded the corner I can line it up like so, hold it down and get my dry wipe. So that's one. Okay, running out of space. Okay, next one. I can hear Paddy dog outside the door. Daddy's downstairs, obviously. He's been very good actually. He's been keeping my husband company when I went into work yesterday, and my husband was lying on the settee, and he said that Paddy came over and laid down beside him and tucked himself right along his left side where he, you know, has a lot of pain at the moment from these kidney stones. So we're now calling him Dr. Paddy. I think dogs do know when you're not feeling too well, and he's a lovely fella, you know. He's very kind little doggy. So that's that. Okay, so we've got 3 nice little notebooks really, with little booklets, and we can decorate the front with something if we want. So I'm just looking to see what I want to have as a front cover. So obviously there's no contest, that one, that one, and that one. So they're all going to be more or less around the same way, yeah, like so. Okay, so once it's in the journal, you can then decorate it again once it's all dry. So I think what we'll do is we'll pop them in the book. Okay, so we've got 3, and we've got 3 signatures, so let's have a look and find a page suitable for them to go on. It's actually quite nice if they went on this one, I guess. That would be quite nice. Or on one of these plain pieces here, like this. Okay, let's put them on that one, I think, for this signature. So let me, I've already got a piece of this cut. I'm just going to cut the other 3, the other 2 rather, so that all 3 are the same length, because I've tested this piece and it's plenty, you know. So just cut that one, and hopefully I've got them all enough for them all to be roughly the same length. I love this lemon colour. So got a tiny scrap there which can go into the scrap jar. Right, so I want to glue this down. This is going to be tricky, I think, so I wonder whether to glue it across here first. I think I will. Let's move that out of the way, bring back this, and let's find the halfway mark. Of course I could iron it, I guess, if I was that way inclined, but I hate ironing, so I won't. So halfway down, like roughly, and I'm going to eyeball it, I'm just going to put a seam of glue, and I'll just do one of these today so this video doesn't drag on, and then I'm going to hold that out so that it's flat like so. And it doesn't matter if the glue shows through, because we are not going to see it. So I just want to hold that down, and I just use my bone folder to spread that across there. It doesn't matter, as long as it sticks down like that, then we're okay. Okay, so we've decided we're going to put it on here, and so all I'm going to do is go around the edges now. So what you could do is you could leave the top so that you've got top tuck, so we could do that, and then you make yourself a bit more room to put things in if you want to. It could be a little secret tuck that only you know where it is. I'm just going to go down the centre. No, it's not going to be a secret tuck now because I've glued down the centre. No, we won't. Maybe we'll put one in and it will be a secret one. So whoever has this will have to find it. So I'm just going to hold that up so that's flat. Okay, now I haven't done that with the before I put the signature in, simply because I find that if you make the signature, if you start embellishing all the signatures before you actually bind them in, it makes it quite difficult to bind them in, whichever way you decide to bind, whether it's the 3 pamphlet stitch or Coptic stitch or this way. So I love the way the seam binding just does that. So so there we have it. So we'll use that as the photo, I think. So we're just going to undo it, open it up, open up our little folder, and we've got a little pocket in here. We could put something in. So for instance, we could put a piece of that in there as a spare note paper. Could make another one to match over there, so you could have 2 matching. I might do that, I don't know. I don't want to make it too bulky, you see, so I'll pop them all in first before I decide. And then all you do is shut it back down. Obviously these are not removable notepads. If you want to make a removable one, you just make a separate notepad that's independent and could pop into one of your pockets. So that's the start of embellishing this, ready to finish this off now. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.